Hello again, everyone. How are we all doing today? It's Sunday. I put out the video yesterday, and one of you, my great subscribers, sent me a message. So, JM Tech Z basically asked me if I could whip up a simple shrimp pasta dish. And I was like, sure, not a problem. But the more I thought about it, the more I wanted it. So this morning I got up, went to the store, I got the few little things I needed because it's so simple to do. Very few ingredients. I'm going to add a few, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can get away with just the basics, which I'll point out. But I had to do this. And the more I kept seeing that message, the more it made me think, I want that shrimp pasta. And plus, I still have some of those strawberry squares from yesterday left over too. So now I've got something. Now I've got a main course to go along with that great dessert. I will put a link to JN Tech Z's YouTube channel down in the description. Please give him a check. He's got some great stuff, all kinds of fun things. You never know what you're going to find. So, instead of me sitting here chatting, let's hit the kitchen, let's go make some lunch, and let's show you how fast and simple making this incredible shrimp pasta dish can be. I'll meet you in the kitchen in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are in the kitchen, and I am invisible. I wanted to show just how simple this was. I'm just using my standard cast iron skillet. Just over behind it, just around over here, I have pot with some boiling water for my pasta. In my skillet, I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and you want to use a fairly good olive oil. And I have 3 tablespoons of butter. This is almost going to be the basis of our sauce. So I haven't started anything. I've just turned my burner on now. I do have my ingredients chopped, and we'll go through them as we get to them. But for now, I just want to get this to start melting down a bit, because as I said, this is really the basis of our sauce. So nothing here is really going to take long. The longest part is going to be really waiting for the water to boil, and that's almost there. So we're doing a really strange setup today because I did want to really show the pan and not me as much. And my tripods for the tablet that I'm using still haven't arrived. So I'm sort of doing a balancing act on paper towel and stuff like that. So I hope it all works, and I hope nothing falls into the sauce. And I also hope the paper towel roll doesn't catch on fire. So I always ask you guys, what is a video you would like to see me do? And just like JM asked, he asked, and I'm doing it. Sometimes it might not be as quick as what I'm doing with JM, but I'll always do my best to get it out as quickly as possible. Now, while all this melts, we can actually add the first little bit of flavoring. Now, I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera or not. It will, but we have to be careful because I have the lid off. It's just some capers. These are just little buds. They're actually the fruit of an evergreen plant. And it's just going to give a little saltiness to this sauce. If you don't have capers, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Like I said, the only real ingredients you need for this are the butter, the oil, some cream, Almost everyone has lemons at home, so some lemons, a little bit of garlic, and some cheese. Some Parmesan if you like, preferably. But if not, a Swiss cheese will do, but use very little of it because it can be overpowering. So everything is melted there. We can see some bubbling. So we're in good shape. We're just going to let those capers cook up a little bit. While those are cooking, this is another one of the optional ingredients. If you have an Italian deli nearby, get what they call speck. Speck is a smoked, cured ham. It's the same ham that the same cut of pork that they actually use to make prosciutto. Except this one is smoked and seasoned differently. And it just has a really, really nice flavor. If you can't get speck, but you want to add something similar, just use a little bit of finely chopped bacon, but cook it a little bit first. We have enough fat and oil in here that we don't need all the fat and oil from the bacon. So just cook that up. The other nice thing is that speck is going to get a little crispy. So it's going to add a lot of flavor. My water is almost at the boil. I'm going to crank the heat. And for my noodles, you can use whatever. But I'm just using, well, as I said, I'm doing this upside down and backwards. I'm just using a fun little noodle like this because it's really going to capture that sauce that we're making here. And it's going to add a lot of flavor to everything. As the common saying goes, suivant next. Our next ingredient, garlic. That's 3 cloves of garlic, chopped fairly fine. If you have a garlic press, use it. I personally hate them because they're next to impossible to clean properly. And I find it juices it more than crushes it. And just the fact that they say crush kind of scares me because I don't want to crush my food. Whoop, and we have a fire. Okay, we're back. Yes, you did hear right. I did say we have a fire. There was something on the burner that I'm boiling the water on, and I guess it caught, so we just had a little flare up. Nothing spectacular, but I wanted to turn it off just in case. Off camera, I'm just getting my pasta into the water. Now I can feel and hear my capers have gotten nice and crispy because we effectively deep fried them in butter. So has my garlic and the speck that we added. Next is just a lemon, and I've just cut this in half. I'm just going to give it a good squeeze. And try and be careful when doing this, because the last thing you want to do is get the steam on you, because you can see how much that's steamed up, and that can burn you big time, and that's not fun. I'll give our pasta a quick little stir. We're getting a nice color there. In come our shrimp. Now I just got a quick bag. Oh, listen to that sound. I just got a bag of small shrimp. You don't want to go crazy and get huge shrimp when you're doing this, because it's going to be too hard to eat. At least this size I can still pick up with a fork, along with some pasta and everything. The important thing here is don't get cooked shrimp. Uncooked, peeled shrimp, or even if you have to, get peeled and cook and cut them and peel them yourself. Now, once those shrimp cook, we can leave it as that. Got the lemon, the capers, we've got that speck giving a nice little bit of flavor. We haven't added any salt because there is the salt in the capers, there's the salt in the butter that we used. But I am going to add about a teaspoon of pepper. And this dish doesn't take long to come together. Like, honestly, my pasta is probably going to take longer than this is. So, you'll see the shrimp start getting pink. And that's when they're getting ready. And these were still partially frozen. So that's kind of why this is taking a bit longer. But they're already, since they've been in this, they're almost all thawed out. There's just like 2 shrimp here that just don't want to let go of each other. But they'll let go soon. You've turned the heat up, as you see. Always keep an eye on your pasta. The pasta I'm using, I say, is just a fun little noodle. And it takes about 10-12 minutes to cook. I wouldn't use a spaghetti with this. It's just the wrong type of sauce. And it's going to get really messy. I would stick with a noodle. You can use a penne or a fun little noodle like that. I always like using a radiatore with a cream sauce just because it really grabs it and holds on to it. So I'm just stirring this and being very, very gentle. I don't want to break up the shrimp, but it's not the end of the world if I do. It's still going to taste the same. And you can see now how the shrimp, are getting nice and pink. Sorry for the lighting there. So those shrimp right now are about halfway done. The butter, the oil, the lemon juice, the little bit of brine from the capers, as well as the capers, are all seasoning everything. And now I'm just adding about half a cup of heavy cream. Unfortunately for this, you can't really use milk because it won't thicken. It'll just be way too runny. At least with the cooking cream, as it heats up, it's going to thicken. And when you're cooking with any dairy product, you want to keep an eye on it. You don't want to turn away too long, because unless you have a couple of afternoons to spend scrubbing your stove, it's not going to be fun. What I am going to do though now is I'm just going to turn that heat back down a touch. I think this camera angle is working out okay, but we'll see in the end. And finally, we just have some cheese. Now, this was a block of Parmesan that I had, and I just hand grated it. Wherever possible, buy your Parmesan by the piece. Excuse me. Don't buy it pre-grated. Whatever you do, don't buy this stuff in a green can. That's great for little kids. But when it's one of the main flavors in your sauce, you need it to be the real stuff. And a little bit goes a long way. Sorry. So that was 1 cup of grated Parmesan. If you don't like Parmesan, use some mozzarella. If you don't want to use any cheese, that's fine. Don't. But this is our sauce. It's done. The pasta, as I said, has taken longer. than the sauce has. So we're just going to let this simmer, do its thing. Those shrimp are going to start giving up their juice, and that's going to also help to flavor everything. And you can see the sauce is nice and thickening. We don't want to keep this cooking too long because those shrimp will get really tough and rubbery. But, oh, the smell. I always say, when you're cooking, give your food a taste, because now is the time to adjust any seasoning. Getting the saltiness from the cheese and the capers. Getting a nice little acidic, lemony taste. Some of the smokiness from the speck. And of course, the shrimp. So the sauce itself is done. We're going to turn that off. And really now at this point, we're just waiting on this pasta, which is almost done. There's one thing we can add to this, and a lot of people really underuse. See, the dog even agrees. Dog even agrees. Arm. And that's just some parsley. It's not just a garnish on your plate. It does add a nice herbal flavor to anything you're cooking. And if you have fresh, great. It's incredible. It's a lot more vibrant and well, fresh tasting, of course. But if you only have dried, that's fine. Just put it in a little bit before you're ready to serve, and that flavor will start coming out. I just keep checking my pasta here. You can see it's almost ready. It's got like 2 minutes, if that. So far this video has been maybe 15 minutes. We've done our pasta. We have our sauce and our shrimp and everything all ready. I'm just going to go drain the pasta and we'll put all this together. So, we add our pasta. Clean our colander off. Juggle everything that's falling. And what we're just going to do now is just easily fold the pasta in. The shape of that noodle is going to start grabbing sauce and pulling it in. Kind of think this pasta is like a long spaghetti, a long macaroni almost. But the reason I stir the pasta into the sauce is the starch that's on the pasta is going to help also to thicken this sauce a bit. And there we go. We're just going to adjust the camera and then let's plate this up and let's show you how good this tastes. See you all in a second. Well, I'm back. But I'm back with this. Like, doesn't this just look incredible? Those shrimp, the pasta, that nice cream sauce, just lightly flavored with some lemon, some capers, that little smoky bit of speck that we added, and of course our shrimp. So simple, so delicious. When you're using smaller shrimp, like I say, they don't take long to cook. And the problem is if you do overcook them, they turn into little rubber bullets. By cooking them like that when they were still a bit frozen, most of the heat was going towards thawing them, overcooking them. So they are just perfect in there. The pasta is holding on to that sauce, dripping a little bit. Got a little speck there, some caper. Cooked nice and al dente. You don't want it mushy. No one likes mushy pasta. And there we go. JM Z, thanks for the idea. You asked for a simple shrimp dish. There you go. Shrimp pasta 101. Easy as that. But I hear you now, Andrew, I don't want to do a cream sauce. I'm trying to watch my figure. I'm like me. Not a problem. Take the same capers, the same garlic, bacon, or the speck if you want. Cook it up the same way in just a little bit of olive oil. Leave out the butter. As it gets close to all being cooked, get a jar of passata, which is a tomato coulis. Add that in. Again, your pepper, your parsley, a little bit of salt this time because we've left out some. Again, your shrimp, the parsley, done. Just as fast as this, just as easy and just as delicious. I went cream just because cream is the classic with seafood. So, thank you ever so much, everyone, for coming by. Jam left me a suggestion. Feel free, do the same. If I can do it, I will. This is lunch, and this is so good. It's incredible. Serve this up with a French bread. Oh yeah, nice to dip in that sauce. If you're new to the channel, welcome. While you're here, hit that subscribe button. This way you'll see when I come out with more videos. Not all of them are as funky as this with weird camera angles. If you're coming back, thank you ever so much. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Leave this video a comment. Let me know, would you like to try this? Have you made it? How did it turn out for you? What little twist did you put on it to make it your own dish? Let me know. That's what I'm here for. The dog's asking questions. Norn. Shh. Not the time for a question and answer period. He's talking with the dog next door. Hey. They're talking back and forth. Norm. Anyway, sorry about that. And as always, I have partnered with Buy Me a Coffee. If you would like to help support this channel, just show your small little bit, send me a coffee. It's as simple as clicking on the link in the description. They'll take you to the site, click one button, and you can leave me a small donation. And every penny of that goes right into producing these videos. As you all know, not everything I cook is cheap, so every bit helps. So, until next time, my name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. I'm about to go have lunch. We'll see you all next time.